BSED English 3A. You're wondering why I'm here at my room, specifically at my residence. Because when I want to discuss biography, I mean literally biography, I want you to be feel at home, specifically my house. More often than not, this will help us to be inspired in the ambience that when you're creating a biography, it's more comfortable in your own houses and in your own comfort zone. Thus, sit back, relax, and enjoy the final part of our workshop. Disclaimer: this video is going to be a summarize, a synthesize, and a simplification of what we have discussed last meeting. Specifically, all of the things that we are gathered, as well as all the experiences that we learned, as well as asking the question of, is biography an element of fiction? That's been confused by many of you. Now I'm going to discuss it clearly, smoothly, and now I'm going to use the reference of Laurie as well as this book. This book is one of the books of Saint Teresa of the Child Jesus. She uses an expressive way that she is talking to God. However, the factual evidence that Mr. Cristal has been pointing out to me using the book of Lloyd de Vega is also incorporated in here. Thus, I'm going to use a synthesis explanation of how you can write your biography, in order for one, not to be confused anymore, as well as everyone, besides from Mr. Cristal, Ms. Mandaloto, and others, that you can get the discussion to be wide, clear, smooth, and understanding. Now, let's begin the short, simple, and synthesized explanation of a biography. Now, a biography is something that you write about a person's life. That, needless to say, if you notice what I did to do, I've shared my story, Mr. Cristal's story, Miss the Twin story, Mr. Castro's story, and even my former Tarlac State University and now USST college students. If you notice there, it's so factual, experienced, and pretty benign. Needless to say, all of this are own experiences. Biographies started way back during the era of Christ, specifically after Christ has been risen at the year 45. There was few records that you can also look at the internet or in the encyclopedia that it was in year 45 or 40 ordered, or you can search it for more reference, that biographies are started there. One person wrote about his life rather, that he began his wonderful journey with the Lord. That. But other references started also writing a biography in the Renaissance era, specifically in the year 1400s. That's where biographies began. Now, the problem is if it is fiction or not. Mr. Cristal was absolutely right. It is non-fiction because it is factual. These are important events and they cannot be altered. However, Laurie and most of the experts, specifically, I asked professors and my former comrades of Tarlac State University, specifically Crystal, Mika, or Kiko, using some of her reference books that we can also be found in our library. If you're visiting the library, I suppose. But commonly we use Laurie's book And I asked also my former classmate, now a faculty member of Tarlac National High School, Joanna Colendres, that it can be a fiction if you express it dramatically. Take note, dramatically. How is that so? A typical biography is straightforward. It's non-fiction. You're just telling a story of what significant events. For example, at the date of February 14, my friend and I became in a relationship. So factual, straight. However, in a biography, in a form of fiction, it's so dramatic. February 14 marks our wonderful love and journey. It was so sophisticated that for a unexpected interruption because my father is asking me a favor. Don't worry, I've done enough. Anyhow, going back, so just like I said, if you express the biography dramatically and sophisticatedly of the event itself, that is where it becomes a fictional biography because you express it in a dramatic, sophisticated, as well as a colorful and sugar-coating biography. I'll give you a concrete reference of a story episode. Let me read one for you. This is where the part where Saint Therese now enters the monastery. It goes like this. Oh dear mother, how sweet our great trial was, since from our hearts came only signs of love and gratitude. We were no longer walking in the way of perfection. We were flying, all 5 of us, the 2 poor little exiles of Cain. While still in the world, we were no longer of it. Ah, what marvels the trial worked in my dear Celine's soul. All the letters she wrote at the open epoch are filled with resignation and love. She didn't directly say that my sister Celine is having trouble. She was in the monastery then. Rather, sorry about that. My father is getting clothes because he's now going to take a bath. Anyhow, if you notice the story of Saint Teresa of the Child Jesus, she didn't directly said that Celine is having a trial now in the monastery. No, she expresses it like she's talking to God in a poetic and sophisticated way. Mr. Crystal was right there that it is factual. However, expressing it and deliberation is another story. If you express it in an authentic and unique way without altering the facts, that is where it is a fictional biography. Not altering the non-fiction and the factual evidence itself. Thus, it will look like a biography, but maintaining its creative stance. However, you might think, sir, what about the creative biography style? Okay, now, don't be confused of what am I trying to say. Because in creative biography, it's purely and it's sophisticatedly pure altered. The situation is the same, but it is fully altered in all the events. The events are completely changed, but the meat is still there. Like for example, in my life, for example, I'm going to use my biography and turn it into a creative one. Instead of saying Our Lady of Peace College Seminary, when I entered the seminary, I'm going to say Our Lady of the Wizardry of Maria. A school about sorcery, wizardry, and philosophy. Technically, all packs or a radio piece called seminary is about a school for seminarians. But suddenly, I said that it is a wizardry school. The thought is there, we're studying philosophy, but the change of ideas is wizardry. The thoughts are the same. However, in biography, I'm just changing the ideas and the expressions, but the fact still remains. In layman terms, the explanation is explained with sugarcoating. That's it. While in creative biographies, they are explained in a unique, authentic, and an altered manner. Take note, I use the word altered, meaning I alter the facts, but the fact still remains, yet it looks different. Classical example. We all know the life of Abraham Lincoln. If you watch this movie, you can relate to me. Abraham Lincoln was a good president. Now, in the movie, before he became a president, he's a vampire hunter. There was a movie called Abraham the Vampire Hunter. And now he's pertaining to the life, before he became a president, of a vampire hunter. In the real world, there's no vampire hunters. Thus, resulting to an alteration of what had happened in the past of Abraham Lincoln. That's for creative biography. But for biography, we don't all know what happened to Abraham Lincoln, right? We just directly say what happened in history. Thus, resulting, the creative biography is altered completely, but the thought of the fact stays. While in biography, it's not purely factual, but it will turn into fiction in expression. That's it. That's all you need to know in the clarification of the biography. Now, in writing the biography, you have to take note of this. For more details, just comment down below, because due to the fact that my computer is having a technical difficulty in downloading some articles and videos, I cannot fully show you. Thus, I'm just going to show you pictures here in the comments down below, some samples of how to write a biography, and even formats like diaries, journals, and even authentic formats. But for this case, I'm going to be a little bit sensitive. Before, I'm considerate in your paragraph. This time, I want to be a little bit professional and unique. How? It goes like this. It is divided into 3 parts, similar to essay. The introduction, the body, and the conclusion. The first paragraph of your... Sorry about that. Anyhow, the first part will be an introduction. Now, in the biography, usually, an introduction or the introductory part is about yourself, introducing yourself. Since we are in creative writing, express yourself as creative as possible. But of course, restraining that you still tell the facts about yourself. That's the important part. The second part, after you introduce yourself, is the body, or tell something about yourself, or tell something of any events that are unforgettable. Since I gave an example of the introductory part that tell me something about yourself, or I forgot to mention, add this one up, you can tell of one significant event that's happened in your life. Expose the significant event before you explain the significant event, just like in the news. In the body part are the full details of what had happened in the event. But in sequencing, you have to take note, when you're going to sequence the events, make sure they are in paragraph. first scene of the paragraph. Example, the first part of the significant event, then another paragraph for the second part of the significant event. I'm going to show you how. Don't worry, the comments down below will be your guide. After you sequence the events, the final part will be the conclusion. The conclusion. The conclusion part is very, very simple. In the conclusion part, you're just going to tell what have you learned and what journey awaits you. What do you mean by what journey awaits you? What future do you expect after this event? Or what will be your next target or your next goal? Thus, now it's up to you on how you express yourself and what significant events that you're going to tell. It's all up to you now, and hopefully this video helped a lot. Now, before I end this video, I'm going to give a wonderful reminder for all my students. There will be a little bit of changes in our class. What is it? You're going to find out soon enough. Because I have been observing some things that are necessary, and it's up to me to produce a FCA. If you want to know what is FCA, you'll find out soon enough. I'm doing this not because there's something wrong, but I'm doing this because I'm concerned and I love you guys. So for now, this is the end of the video about biography and autobiography. For autobiographies, I forgot to mention, this is a postscript. It's all about yourself. I already discussed that. About yourself and writing about yourself. So the drills, you know what to do with it. Now, it's your turn to write the autobiography on your first part of your minibook. Again, for comments, suggestions, feedbacks, or any violent reaction, just comment down below and tell me your questions, violations, or nonsense questions. This is Sir John Polong, signing off with the first video for the third year students. Have a nice day, and hopefully enjoy your everyday living and value. Happy writing! Bye-bye!